Michelle Sims, and I'm the library manager here, and normally I'm the person behind the camera filming our students talking about books, but today I thought I'd be brave and just come and share with you my top 15 books. There is a range of books. They're non-fiction and fiction and picture books and chapter books and graphic novels. So here we go. Coming in at number 15, Echo by Munoz. I put this book in historical fiction, but it actually starts off in a fantasy type situation, which I don't actually like. So I quite enjoyed it once it started, talking about 1933 in Germany, and then it had, so that was one sort of story, and there's a running thread of a harmonica that turns up in three people's lives: Frederick in Germany, Mike in Pennsylvania, and Ivy in California. And each individual story is just really interesting. I actually listened to this as an audiobook, which is really good because music plays a big part in the story. The writing on it's quite spread out, so even though it looks like a really thick book, it's actually not as intimidating as it might be. And it got a Newbery honour. So that's number 15. Number 14, His Name Was Walter by Emily Rodda. Put this one in horror. It's not too terrifying, but it's quite creepy. There's this 4 students and a teacher, and they've been on a trip, and they end up in this old house, and they discover this sort of handwritten book, and they start reading it, and it's quite creepy and very special. And this was actually another one that I listened to, and then I bought the book for the library. It's did I say it was by Emily Rodda, who's an Australian author? Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm not really into horror. So then for something completely different, Fluffy Strikes Back, which is like quite a junior graphic novel about Fluffy, who's this top cat who is in command looking for aliens, which are actually flies, and it's just it's really cute. Fluffy is very cute, and actually everything is cute in this book. It's just really sweet. Then we have this one, which I just got from the public library, but I am going to buy it for our library. I can't wait to read it out loud to a class. It's called Everybody Says Meow by Constance Lombardo. Really simple drawing and a really simple concept. Welcome to that magical time when everybody says meow. Ready? Meow. Woof. And then it just goes on from there, but I really enjoyed it, and I think our junior kids will too. Then we have a non-fiction book called Otis and Will Discover the Deep. The record-setting dive of the Bathysphere, and it's by Barb, Rosenstock and Katherine Roy. It's a really interesting story of the first deep dive into the ocean and the men who were responsible for that. And I just adore the illustrations. But some really interesting information about how they came up with this, and I mean the risk involved with putting yourself into basically a bubble and going down deep into the ocean. But I love the artwork, and just, 400 feet, stop, colder, breathe in, 500 feet, stop, darker, breathe out. Really enjoyable read, that one. Then another non-fiction we have, there's a skeleton inside you, by Idan, Ben-Barak and Julian Frost, who also wrote I think it's Do Not Lick This Book, which is about microbes. This one is about these two aliens that crash land on their way to their friend's birthday party, and one's a blob and one's a gas cloud, and they haven't got any hands, and they need to repair their spaceship. So they're quite impressed with the reader's hands, and they're interested in, so they decide to grow some, would be a good idea, but then they're all floppy because they need some other things inside their hands, like bones and muscles and nerves. So it's a really clever way of talking about what's inside your body. This one by Hilary McKay is called The Skylarks War. It's another historical fiction. It's about World War One, told through the accounts of really one family, Clary and her older brother Peter and their cousin Rupert, and just draws you in. It's just so really powerful account of what happened to them. Fictional but really believable. Then Bullseye Bella, which is, we've got it in our sports section. It is by New Zealand author James T. Guthrie. It's about a girl who is 12 and she plays darts. And I don't play darts, and yet this book, you know, was so interesting, which I think is a sign of somebody who likes something so well and describes it so well that you're like, oh, I could play darts. So she's a darts prodigy, and she finds that her brother's special schooling's at risk because they don't have enough money. So she decides to go and try and win a darts tournament and get them money. But it's really well written. It's lovely to see a New Zealand author do so well. He won the Tom Fitzgibbon Award, which was got this book published. I'm really glad. How to Walk an Ant. Now, I do like slightly quirky books. This is by Cindy Derby. It's her first book, and it's awesome. You can tell from the title what kind of book it's going to be because, you know, slightly crazy. Walking an ant. Step 1, find an ant. Step 2, introduce yourself. Step 3, prepare the leash. And I love the illustrations. They're sort of slightly messy and crazy. But yeah, if you really want to know how to walk an ant, this is the way, this is the book that will help you do that. This one I have only just got. I went to Mark One, which is a graphic comic store, and bought some books. And this one is awesome. It's called The Drawing Lesson, a graphic novel that teaches you how to draw. And it's by Mark Crilley. And he actually, turns out he's big on YouTube. He does a lot of drawing videos. But it's basically the story of this boy, and he comes across a woman who's drawing and convinces her to give him some lessons. So while he's getting his lessons, you are reading and learning about drawing. And man, it made me want to go and get a sketchbook and start drawing things. So another one who's really passionate about what he does, and that comes through. And you can tell that he knows how to draw because his drawings in the book are really good. We've got a couple of books we put for year 6 only, so this is one of them. It's Lenny's Book of Everything. Usually they're just books that were, when you read about them, they say 10 and up, and so we put them like this. And this is by Foxlee. This is the most emotional I felt. This book made me feel the most emotional out of any of them. Lenny's got a younger brother called Davy who won't stop growing. At 7 he's as tall as a man, and this is about them, and I won't say anything more, but it is quite a powerful book and really if you like books that make you feel stuff, this one does it. Fantasy book. This is my favourite fantasy book of the year. It's called The Revenge of Magic by James Riley. Really interesting story about magic that's returned to the world in these spell books, and these strange creatures have risen up, and the boy fought. His father has gone missing because a giant creature's burst through the earth and sort of taken him, and then Forts ends up this magic school, and I won't say anything more, but I really enjoyed. I love a good fantasy book, and I really enjoyed that one. Right, top 3. All graphic novels, because I have really enjoyed graphic novels this year, and these ones are awesome. But another one, because I am a strange person, so you have to like kind of weird books. A little bit creepy, so we put it as year 6 only. It's called Apocalypse Taco by Nathan Hale. Pretty hard to describe this book. It's got some really odd things going on. It involves a taco place and some strange sort of creatures, and I don't know, it's one of those, if you like strange graphic novels, handle a little bit creepy, then, yeah, because some of the pictures are a bit creepy, then I recommend that one. Number 2, Raina Telgemeier. She's such a great author. I mean, there are still reserves on these books. I had to get them into the hold section in the library because she's so good. And this one is Guts, and it's about her experiences when she got a stomach bug, and it's really around food and how and anxiety, and yeah, it's a really good book. I've been there when you've been ill, and then you're like a bit wary about food and what might happen, and she covers it really well. It's a really good book. And now, number 1, by far number 1, my favourite book, New Kid by Jerry Craft. Where to start? So, Jordan Banks is starting a new school. He is one of the only kids of colour at the school. It's a very prestigious private school, and he doesn't have a lot of money, and he's on the bus sort of going in from a poorer community into quite a wealthy one. It's a really well written story. You've got some interesting sort of thoughts about racism and about wealth, and then there's the art. I love his art, and also just the clever ways that he shows some of his story, the way that he chooses to illustrate what he's talking about. The chapter headings are really cool. I don't know if all of the kids would get that they're related to different movies and books. But yeah, I just love this book, and we've got multiple copies and there's multiple reserves on them. But there you go, number 1. Thanks for watching. Bye.